Manila Water Company faces complaint over the alleged contract violations following Metro Water interruptions. The Philippines climate shifting to a new norm based on the data gathered by PAGASA. Filipino community in Winnipeg, Canada creates neighborhood watch following the death of a Filipino teenager in a home invasion attack. And KZ Tandingan becomes the first Filipina performer to fill the Dubai World Trade Center arena. Good evening. The Metropolitan Waterworks and Sewerage System, or MWSS, and Manila Water met today over the recent water shortage. Meanwhile, Bayan Muna, along with several consumers, file a formal complaint in the Metropolitan Waterworks and Sewerage System office against Manila Water. Joanano tells us why.
Officials of the Metropolitan Waterworks and Sewerage System, or MWSS, and Manila Water met today to tackle the possible assistance to be provided to customers affected by the recent water shortage in several parts of Metro Manila. MWSS Chief Regulator Patrick T. said they will carefully study the possibility to give refunds to customers. The water regulator will also ask Manila Water if they could grant their customers appeal to suspend the water charges this March.
Hindi pa natin sigurado, ayaw kong sabihin na guilty sila. Baka sabihin naman ng Manila Water na prejudge na sila. Hindi ko po sila piniprejudge, so klaro lang, hindi ko po sasabihin na kailangan po sila mag-rebate. Pinag-aaralan lang po natin yan.
The MWSS has issued a notice to explain to Manila Water, asking them to answer as to why they should not be penalized in accordance with the terms and conditions under the concession agreement. The water regulator has given Manila Water 5 days to reply. The MWSS is targeting to release a decision by June as to whether or not Manila Water should be penalized. The UNTV news team tried to get Manila Water's reaction on the matter, but they are yet to respond on the possibility of penalty and refund. Meanwhile, Jose Gallego, a Mandaluyong City resident, went personally to the MWSS office to file his complaint against Manila Water.
Kung akala namin hanggang 4 na araw lang, inabot po kami ng 1 linggo. Yung tatay ko nga hindi ko nga naidala sa hospital dahil dapat may siya, therapy lagi siya ng 3 beses sa 1 linggo. Ang nangyari, hindi ko nadadala dito sa may polymedic, pati ang polymedic wala rin ng tubig.
For the group Bayan Muna, Manila Water must be held responsible and must be penalized for the almost 3 weeks of water service interruptions affecting their customers. In a 21-page petition filed by the group in the MWSS office earlier today, Bayan Muna is demanding not to charge Manila Water customers for their water bills this March. The group also reiterated that residents who were affected by the water shortage should be given compensation so as to pay their hard work and additional costs they incurred just to get water supply.
Gastos nila sa nakaraang mga linggo para lang makabili ng drum, mga timba, makabili ng bottled water ay napakalaki kumpara dun sa kanilang average monthly bills.
The group is also demanding the MWSS and Manila Water to hold public hearings so affected customers could air their sentiments over the water shortage. Joanano, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
The Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration suggests that the government should plan and prepare to mitigate the impact of extreme climate and weather events. Ray Pelayo tells us why.
Tropical cyclones entering the Philippine Area of Responsibility, or PAR, have been shifting from their favorite track, which includes Bicol, Samar, and Leyte area. This has been the observation of the Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration, or PAGASA. Ana Solis of PAGASA's Climate Monitoring and Prediction Section said that in recent years, cyclones were noticed to pass by the Mindanao region.
Itong preferred tracks na naman ng mga bagyo medyo pumapaitaas na naman dito sa may part ng Visayas and Southern Luzon area.
Based on the data PAGASA gathered, the Philippines' climate is also shifting to a new norm. The Weather Bureau said this is due to the frequency of El Nino and La Nina occurrence in the northern and central equatorial Pacific. Records show the extremes of this phenomena cycle interval used to be 10 to 15 years, but such cycle interval has been happening every 5 to 7 years since the year 2000. Strong El Nino affected the country in the years 2009 to 2010 and 2015 to 2016. PAGASA added that even La Nina exists as frequently as El Nino. The increase of ocean temperature contributes a lot in global warming. This is noticeable at even nighttime, Solis said.
Ito na yung nagiging climate normal natin, extremes na. So ibig sabihin, mas hotter, and then mas wetter or mas colder and then mas drier. So nag-shift na yung climate natin.
Ray Pilayo, UNTV, News and Rescue, Quezon City.
The price of imported rice may soon sell lower for 30 pesos per kilogram. Monoxon tells us why.
The public will see lower prices of rice in the market once the rice tariffication law is fully implemented. The Department of Trade and Industry, or DTI, said a higher supply will pull the price of rice down. The price of imported rice may even go lower at 30 pesos per kilogram, DTI Secretary Ramon Lopez said.
Ngayon, with many groups hopefully will participate and import, they will bring in mga 30 pesos at maibenta nila sa 30 pesos.
Farmer productivity is also expected to improve because the agricultural sector will receive a 10 billion peso fund from the government coming from tariff collection. This fund will be used to purchase farming tools and equipment. With this, local farmers' production will be competitive against imported rice. But for Norma Bodomo, who owns a small eatery, should the price of imported rice go down, she will still choose local rice as it is more pleasant to the taste.
Mas masarap yung ating bigas kaysa yung imported kasi parang sabi nila yung may amoy na alam mo na kasi nakaimbak na matagal na mga yun, di ba, galing sa ibang bansa.
Rice retailer Letty said she is doubtful that imported rice would be in demand because her customers like local rice.
Para makaya ng bulsa nila, para makabili sila. Pero yung talagang hindi makakain ng ganyan, ito binibili nila, yung mamahalin.
Amid the existing El Nino phenomenon in the country, the National Economic and Development Authority said that the prices of rice will be stable. The Philippine economy will also perform well because of lower inflation. It is expected that the implementing rules and regulation of the rice tariffication law will be completed this month. Mon Hokson, UNTV, News and Rescue, Quezon City.
Meanwhile, the price of gasoline is expected to increase by 65 centavos per liter, while diesel and kerosene will have an additional 10 centavos per liter starting 6 a.m. on Tuesday or tomorrow. Among the first to announce the price hike are Shell, Eastern Petroleum, and PTT Philippines. Other local oil companies are expected to follow suit. So far this year, oil prices have had a net increase of 8.99 pesos per liter for gasoline, 6.99 pesos per liter for diesel, and 4.67 pesos per liter for kerosene. Filipinos in Winnipeg, Canada creates 204 Neighborhood Watch amid frequent home invasions in their community. Miguel Moldes tells us why.
For the past few days, the Filipino community has been mourning the death of a 17-year-old teenager who was the victim of a random home invasion attack. Jamie Jimboy Adao was at home with his grandmother when a man forced his way into their house on McGee Street on the night of March 3. As soon as the break-in started, Adao called 911. He was speaking with dispatchers when the intruder got inside and began attacking the teen with a weapon. Dispatchers heard it all and promptly sent out officers. The attack was ongoing as police arrived and they shot a male suspect several times. The police identified the suspect as 29-year-old Ronald Chubb. Chubb's criminal record includes at least 11 break-and-enter convictions dating back to 2008. Due to frequent home invasions, Filipinos in Winnipeg, Canada formed the group 204 Neighborhood Watch. The goal of this group is to help fight crime by patrolling the areas around their neighborhood.
Dapat meron tayong gawin as a community, so we decided to form the Neighborhood Watch. So for many years, we did events and regular patrolling, addressing safety issues in the community.
The group conducted a forum a few days ago to talk about what should be done during a home invasion and the ways to avoid such a dangerous situation.
just to contact police if you see something suspicious or you see something that warrants the police. Do it from a safe distance. Make the call to the police. 911, 986-622 is the non-emergency number. And don't put yourself in harm's way.
The use of firearms as self-defense was also discussed.
You have to operate within what's required by the law. So, for example, purchasing firearms, regardless of what caliber it is, there are laws in place. There are requirements, psychological tests that you have to satisfy.
Filipinos in Winnipeg are hoping that through the Neighborhood Watch, their community will be much safe. Miguel Maldez, UNTV News and Rescue, Winnipeg, Canada.
Exhibition center in the entire United Arab Emirates, including the Philippines King of R&B, JR.
Oh my goodness, overwhelming ang feeling talaga kasi nakita namin yung love for music ang mga Pinoy. Talagang 8,500 strong lahat nandito nanood. Kaya it's very overwhelming and nakaka-proud talaga.
Acoustic singer TJ Monterde, Casey's real-life sweetheart, also made a spectacular performance.
Sobrang enjoy lang. Maraming salamat sa lahat ng taga Dubai and sa buong UAE sa pag-support. Hindi lang sa amin, kundi sa buong OPM. Dito natin napoprove na buhay ang OPM.
For Wishcovery Season 2, the singer and the song grand winner Rhea Basco, being a front act in Casey's concert is a memorable one.
And super happy din po ako and thankful kasi nakasama po ako sa concert ni Ate Casey Tandingan.
Another surprise was an Emirati national's impromptu duet with Casey. The Asia Soul Supreme expressed thanks for a successful concert organized by La Verdad Events Management and Wish 1075.
Maraming salamat po, La Verdad Events Management and Wish 1075 for entrusting this opportunity to me. And ayun, sana mas madami pang artists ang magawan niyo ng ganito kagandang concert. Thank you po. Maraming salamat po.
BMPI UNTV President, CEO, and Wish 1075 innovator Kuya Daniel Rezon himself, who is well known for his support to Filipino artists and original Filipino music or OPM, was present in the Casey Supreme concert. Much more is in store for music enthusiasts who follow Wish FM, according to Kuya Daniel.
Well, hopefully this year ay meron din tayong isang panibagong endeavor na pinapasok which mas magpapakilala doon sa Wish Bus as a vehicle, as a tool para sa ating mga performers na makilala sila at mabuo yung kanilang mga pangarap kagaya ng mga ilan na mga Filipino artists na sa awa ng Diyos ay nakilala sa pamamagitan ng kanilang mga Wishclusives na ina-upload natin sa ating YouTube channel.
Casey will next head for Davao for another leg of her Supreme Casey Tandingan concert on March 28. Mirasol Abugadil, UNTV News and Rescue.
Up next on Y News. Malacanang insists that the Philippines will never default on China loan agreements and dismiss the possibility of China taking the country's assets. The Philippine National Police to augment troops in areas under COMELEC control. And Wish 1075 launches new weekly program on its YouTube channel.
Welcome back to Y News. We pick up to where Rina Villamor Camara left off. I am William Theo, and here are the headlines. Indigenous people appeal for help as Chico River project threatens to affect ancestral domains. Malacanang allays fears on the possibility that China will take the country's assets if it fails to fulfill its obligations in the loan agreement. More Solons express interest in becoming the next House Speaker in the 18th Congress. Quezon City regulates use of vape in public conveyances. And Wish 1075 launches new weekly program on its YouTube channel. Indigenous communities that will be affected by the China-funded Chico River pump irrigation project still cry for help. Meanwhile, Supreme Court Associate Justice Antonio Carpio believes the Philippines is getting the shorter end of the stick over the deal with China. Mai Bermudez tells us why.
The group Cordillera People's Alliance complains that until now the government's assistance is still blurry since their ancestral domains will be directly hit by the construction of the Chico River Pump Irrigation Project.
Hindi man lang nakonsulta yung komunidad o yung mga kalakhan ng mga tutubo mula sa Kalinga, lalo na yung affected communities.
The Department of Finance's website published the loan agreement between the Philippines and China in relation to the $62 million Chico River deal. Supreme Court Associate Justice Antonio Carpio said if Filipinos are going to look closely at the contract's provision, China can seize Reed Bank's oil and natural gas once we are unable to pay China back. Under this, we will comply with Chinese laws since the China International Economic and Trade Arbitration Commission is tasked to resolve possible questions on the contract. The document also has a confidentiality clause, indicating that the terms and conditions are not for public sight, but in the Philippines case is not possible because of Freedom of Information or FOI. Carpio's presentation showed oil and gas within the Philippine territory was identified as patrimonial assets based on the contract which China may get as payment. The magistrate believes Filipinos are getting the shorter end of the stick because of this provision. Former presidential spokesperson and international law expert Attorney Harry Roque said the Reed Bank's resources cannot be used as collateral since the Philippine government has not even exploited its resources.
Wala pong katuturan yan. Alam naman ng mga nagpa-practice na abogado na ang pwede lamang hatakin kung hindi ka makapagbayad ng utang ay yung mga collateral na in-identify, no? At ang tatanggapin lang na collateral ay yung mga ari-arian na narariyan na. Ang Reed Bank, ni isang kutsarang langis o natural gas, wala pa po yan. Inaasahan natin na mayroong natural gas at langis. Pero habang wala pa tayong nakukuhang kahit ano dyan, walang kahit sinong tatanggap dyan bilang collateral. So sa akin, may pagkakaiba yung propaganda para manira doon sa mabuting samahan ng Pilipinas at China at yung katotohanan dahil...
But another expert, Professor Tony Lavinia, said President Rodrigo Duterte might be ousted from office by permitting to use the country's natural resources as a guarantee to Chinese loans.
Of course, it's a culpable violation of the Constitution and it's also betrayal of public trust. But you have to have the numbers. So, hindi kasi impeachment is a political, it's a political instrument.
But Roque added Duterte's government agreed to this, but the Philippines may study the Chinese law.
Ang arbitration po talaga ay tanggap na pamamaraan para lutasin yung mga gusot sa panig ng mga namumuhunan at mga bansa. Yung pagiging applicable naman ng Chinese law, well, pumayag naman tayo dyan, wala rin pong masama sa pagpayag sa Chinese law dahil pwede naman natin pag-aralan.
Mai Bermudez, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
Rescue, Pasay City.
Solicitor General Jose Calida believes the Philippine justice system will remain independent after the country's withdrawal from the International Criminal Court. Mai Bermudez tells us why.
As the Philippines parts its ways with the International Criminal Court, the justice system maintains its independence. Solicitor General Jose Calida stressed this after Ombudsman Conchita Carpio Morales and former Foreign Affairs Secretary Albert Del Rosario requested for probe in the International Tribunal. He added that investigations and prosecutions on more than 49,000 drug-related cases and 74,000 cases pending at the prosecution level are still ongoing. The two former Philippine officials officials clarified they submitted their communication on March 15, or 2 days before the effectivity of the Philippines' withdrawal. Aside from holding Chinese officials accountable over destruction of natural resources and stealing livelihood, the pair want China to pay Filipino fishermen in West Philippine Sea.
I think we discussed that there might be 4 avenues that could be considered. One is imprisonment. I understand that the maximum number of years is 40 years. You might consider penalties. You might consider monetary consideration, like reparations.
They are almost complete in their militarization. So, and that's the reason why we had to file this case, because while we wanted to arrest this, they are almost complete. So, as the Secretary of Foreign Affairs stated a while ago, among other things that we expect to resolve from this would be reparation.
Former presidential spokesperson and ICC advocate Attorney Harry Roque, meanwhile, doubts where Carpio Morales and Del Rosario's report to the ICC will go.
Hindi ko po pinagdududahan ang pagmamahal sa bayan ni Ombudsman Morales. No? Pero ang sa akin lang, bilang isang matagalang pinag-aralan ng ICC, wala pong mangyayari dyan. Kasi unang-una, hindi po partido ang China sa Rome Statute. Pangalawa, hindi naman po ito refer ng Security Council. At pangatlo, hindi naman ito refer ng bansang China.
For Justice Secretary Menardo Guevara, on the other hand, Del Rosario and Morales are focusing on a political more than a legal victory. Maya Bermudez, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
President Rodrigo Duterte will possibly visit China and Japan anew this year. Malacanang said on Monday the president may travel to China late next month to attend the Second Belt and Road Forum in Beijing. While on May, Duterte will most likely visit Japan to primarily attend a regional conference. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo made the statement after the Japanese media reported that Duterte will be attending the 25th International Conference on the Future of Asia. The event is reported to be held on May 30th and 31 in Tokyo. Panelo told reporters at a press briefing that he has yet to confirm the said visit, but if it pushes through, this will be Duterte's third time to visit Japan since becoming president in 2016. Duterte, meanwhile, has yet to make a visit to the United States of America since his rise to power. Panelo said this is because the president cannot stand the cold temperature in the United States.
I think the relationship between the U.S. and China remains cordial and healthy. So with America, the only reason perhaps why the president has not considered visiting is because of the temperature. He couldn't stand very cold temperature. He gets sick.
Quezon City issues an ordinance that regulates the use of vape or electronic cigarettes. Nina Armilio will tell us why.
It is unlawful under a Quezon City ordinance to purchase e-cigarettes from a minor, for minors to sell e-cigarettes, and for minors to purchase e-cigarettes. This is what stated in an ordinance Quezon City Mayor Herbert Bautista approved on Wednesday last week in a bid to regulate the use of vape or electronic cigarettes in public conveyances. City Ordinance 2737-2018 aims to protect the health and welfare of Quezon City residents and at the same time safeguard the interests of all stakeholders, including smokers who have the right to choose less harmful alternatives to cigarettes. Electronic cigarettes or e-cigarettes are handheld products that generate a nicotine-containing aerosol without combustion. They are supposed to be significantly safer than conventional tobacco smoking. But according to a statement from the World Health Organization, there is no scientific evidence to confirm vape safety and efficacy. When asked if they are in favor of the ordinance, some raised issues on vapes.
Yung vape po, malakas po yung usok niya kaya nakakaano rin po tingnan. Siya nag-use, siya nag-bibip, tapos kami naamoy din namin. Sobrang dami ng usok. Kagaya ko, ako, meron akong allergy. Minsan na subukan ko na dinugan ako ng sumakit ng dibdib ko. Kaya tama lang yun itigil na yung mga vape niyan.
On the other hand, a vape user claimed smoking e-cigarette does not bring harmful effects on one's health.
Although nakakamatay siya pag sumabog, pero wala namang epekto to sa tao talaga eh.
Hindi kagaya nung Yossi.
However, even the Department of Health on its website said e-cigarette is not a proven nicotine replacement therapy. The city ordinance states that the use of e-cigarettes indoors is prohibited in public utility vehicles, hospitals and healthcare centers, government offices, educational and recreational facilities primarily intended for minors, and places of worship. Even advertisements and sale of vape is also regulated. Violators of the ordinance shall be fined 500 pesos to 1,000 pesos for the first offense, a fine of over 1,000 pesos to 2,500 pesos for the second offense, and for the third offense, in addition to a fine of over 2,500 to 5,000 pesos, the business permit or license to operate of the offender may be cancelled or revoked. Nina Armilio, UNTV, News and Rescue.
3 names are now floating to be the next House Speaker. They have been endorsed by presidential daughter Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte Carpio. Grace Casin explains why.
Pagbabago Party Chairperson Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte Carpio on March 20 endorsed former Leyte Representative Martin Romualdez to be the next House Speaker during the party's campaign in their province. Romualdez is a 3-term congressman in the 1st District of Leyte and a known ally of House Speaker Gloria Arroyo. He lost in the 2016 elections when he ran for senator. Romualdez is the current president of Lakas Christian Muslim Democrat and the Philippine Constitution Association. He is a nephew of former First Lady and now Ilocos Norte Representative Imelda Marcos. On the following day, March 21, Duterte Carpio also endorsed incumbent Marinduque Representative Lord Alan J. Velasco as the new House Speaker. Velasco, son of former Supreme Court Associate Justice Presbitero Velasco Jr., is now visible in the party's sorties. During an interview with Mayor Sara in Cebu last Friday, she explained why she endorsed both Romualdez and Velasco.
Well, lahat ng mga congressmen na supportive sa administration ni President Duterte and who expressed interest in becoming speaker, I support them. Yes. So, walay choice of one, but ang ginatanaw na mo is kung kinsa ang supporter ni President Duterte because we need the House of Representatives to move towards the direction of the President.
But before the names of Romualdez and Velasco surfaced, former Foreign Affairs Secretary Alan Peter Cayetano stated last year that President Rodrigo Duterte wanted him to be the next House Speaker. Cayetano was President Duterte's running mate in 2016, but he lost. After a year, he was appointed as the Secretary of the Department of Foreign Affairs. He is now running as representative of the Lone District of Taguig City. Since several names have surfaced to be the next House Speaker, the issue of term sharing also came out. Mayor Sara, however, does not want to decide on the possibility of term sharing.
Dapat mag-decide yan ng mga congressman.
Duterte Carpio is said to be behind the move to remove Pantalon Alvarez as House Speaker in July 2018 when he was replaced by Gloria Arroyo. Grace Casin, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
Wish 1075 has something new for wishers all over the world on the Philippines' #1 FM YouTube channel. Mirasol Abogadil will tell us why.
Wish 1075 just can't stop getting bigger and better. Your favorite FM station brings you to another level of entertainment through its new program, Wish-clusive Vibes, hosted by DJ Faye. In its pilot episode on Friday, DJ Faye played a heartbreak playlist that took wishers to a feels trip.
Sana sinabi mo para di na umasang may tayo pa sa uli.
Siya nang makilala ko puta ang sarili pag-ibig. Where we give you a mood-themed playlist of your favorite Wish Fest performances.
Followers of the Wish FM YouTube channel felt the heartbreaking songs, yet enjoyed the new listening experience. For netizen Oy Sister, watching even one video in Wish-clusive Vibes heartbreaking playlist makes one cry a lot. Wisher Angelo Tatoy said he doesn't have a lover right now, but why does he seem to feel hurt? And while watching Wish-clusive vibes, Mary Grace 123 commented she misses to love and to be loved. When will her Mr. Right come? Another wisher wishes for the person who said I love you to her for an us. Wishers also commended another breakthrough Wish 1075 brings to music lovers. Wish-clusive Vibes is a weekly program on the Wish FM YouTube page where the All Hits FM station offers a thematic selection of your favorite Wish Bus performances. Just last week, Wish 1075's YouTube page reached its 5 million subscriber mark. Mirasol Abogadil, UNTV, News and Rescue.
Up next on Y News. U.S. President Donald Trump slams Russia probe as illegal takedown as Special Counsel Robert Mueller found no evidence of collusion. Russian Air Force planes carrying troops land in Venezuela. And Russian airfield crew raises orphaned bear. More reasons behind the stories when Y News returns.